Hi guys, Robbie46 here. Now today I'm finally going to be doing my Ride 3 wish list. Now Ride 3 hasn't actually been announced at all yet, but after the success of Ride 2 and the fact that it was received very well, especially compared to the first ride, it was a huge improvement over the first ride. I can't see why Milestone wouldn't want to make another ride game, and especially with the new technology that they've got their hands on, then I think it could be the best ride yet if they do make Ride 3. But with that, I just want to do a quick disclaimer. These aren't in any particular order, so they're not done in order of importance or preference or anything. It's just a list that I've put together myself. And also, these are my own opinions. You might not necessarily agree with them. That's absolutely fine. So if you have anything you want to add, then please feel free to put it down in the comments section, and if we get enough people putting their own ideas in, then I will eventually do a community wish list for Ride 3, and hopefully the developers may take some note, and we may see some things in Ride 3 that we've wanted. So without further ado, let's get on with the wish list for Ride 3. So the first thing, this definitely applies to single player. We really need some harder AI and a more competitive AI, because AI, not just in Ride though, not just in Ride, in like the MotoGP games as well, the AI is really easy to beat, even on the hardest setting, especially if, like me, you play the games a hell of a lot. There may be some people that may find it difficult, but maybe they don't play the game as much. But even with all the assists turned off and everything, the AI is still very beatable. So it would be nice to have AI which you really have to battle with, and also hopefully they can give them some better spatial awareness as well, because sometimes they will maybe get in your slipstream but just stay right behind you and won't pull out the slipstream to go alongside you, or they'll go back into the back of you, and stuff like that. And it would be nice to see them maybe sit up, if you do put it up the inside quite late into a corner, see them sit up a little bit rather than just continue leaning, and which usually results in a crash. So it would be nice to have not just competitive AI but smarter AI. So you really got to work for those race wins, because I think that would improve the longevity of the single player, because I know that a lot of people do get bored of the single player because the AI don't really pose much of a challenge. So yeah, that's the first point. The second point is also in relation to single player, and that's with World Tour. I'd like to see a more a deeper and more fleshed out World Tour. I mean, Ride 2's World Tour was good. There was so many races you could do, and lots of different categories, and stuff like that. So it would be nice to, in a way, I would quite like maybe a little career mode where maybe you start off with a really banged up rusty bike, and you just obviously go and race it, and the better you do, the more upgrades you can do to that bike, and then eventually you try and work your way up to your dream bike. That would be quite cool. But if not, I would like to see a few more things in World Tour. Maybe not have it so disconnected, because obviously you do one race and you come back out and go into a menu, then you pick the next race in that category. It would be nice if it was all almost like a championship with each category, so one race leads on to the next one and stuff like that. I know that with like the ideal trajectory stuff with the cones and lap times, that'll be a bit different, but that did help break up just the races. So maybe they can do like a stunt mode as well, where you get points for doing drifts and wheelies and stoppies and donuts and stuff like that. That'd be pretty cool as well. It's like an additional game mode to World Tour, a little category that you could do. Next point now, which is an improved riding style editor. Now, you may have seen a few of my videos of me trying to recreate real life riding styles. It would be really nice to have a deeper rider style editor, so that you could go from like one extreme to the other, because there's some it's not as deep as I'd like it with like I said, trying to recreate other real life riders riding styles. Sometimes you can't quite do it because you can't quite get the upper body out far enough, or the elbow low enough to the ground and stuff like that. So it'd be nice if they could kind of make it a more fleshed out riding style editor. I mean, it's really, really good that they've actually got a riding style editor in there at all. But it would be nice if they could improve it so that you could tweak it even more and put more detail into it and stuff like that. Because it was pretty much exactly the same from the first ride and style editor in Ride 1. So yeah, if they could improve it for Ride 3 even, I would be very, very happy. Next one is the crash detection, or the collision detection even. So the trouble with Ride 2 that I found out quite a bit after playing MotoGP 17 and coming back to Ride 2 is that it is so easy to cause a crash from like the lightest of touches. In MotoGP 17 you can get away with a little bit bumping and barging, and everyone stays on pretty nicely, but in Ride 2, if you try and do the same things as this if you do in MotoGP 17, it usually results in a crash, if not both people crashing, and it literally does not take much at all to actually make someone crash, or crash yourself by lightly touching someone. And if someone's leaning on you, you tend to crash as well. So it would be nice if they updated that. Something along the lines of maybe the MotoGP 17 crash detection, collision detection, but maybe slightly improved even more, so that you can really shove up the inside and not have to worry too much about taking someone out, which is kind of what I do online sometimes. I won't make a move because I'm a bit worried that because of the way that the collisions work in Ride 2, I know that if I do go up the inside, and I will do it as clean as possible, if there is a slight collision, then the other person will come off worse. So yeah, if they could improve that, that would be a big plus. Next one is more related to online, and more specifically the Xbox One version of the game, because on the PlayStation 4 and the PC you can browse lobbies, so you can see who's hosting lobbies and see what categories they are, and like what physics they're using, whether it's standard, semi-pro or pro. And if you don't like one, obviously you don't go into it. If you do like one, you'll enter it. But with the Xbox version, because of the whole matchmaking scenario with Xbox games, you just have to sit there and hope that you get into a lobby that you want to race in. I know that you can change the options so that you got more of a chance of getting into a lobby you want to race in, but it doesn't necessarily always work, because you may not find a lobby at all. And having matchmaking is fine if you quickly want to race online and you're not really that bothered about what you're racing in. So I'm fine with them keeping matchmaking, but it would be really nice if, in addition to matchmaking, you could do a lobby search as well, just to make things a bit better. Because especially at the moment where online isn't really that busy, you will search for a game, and I've been put in like standard lobbies before and I've had to back out because where I'm so used to pro, I can't really play in standard. I just find it really weird. It takes me ages trying to find a lobby, but if we had a lobby search, that would really, really help. The next one is a pretty obvious one. More bikes. Obviously, we had even more bikes than Ride 1 and Ride 2. And there's no reason why they can't add even more for Ride 3. Obviously, we've got brand new bikes which are out, which would be good to have in Ride 3. There's also older bikes as well that weren't in either game, so they could put them in Ride 3 as well. And just have like the biggest roster of bikes in Ride 3. I think that would be really good. Obviously, it's nice that they supported Ride 2 with DLC. You had like 3 bike packs every so often. I know there's only like a couple bikes per pack, but you didn't have to pay for them. Then they had the paid DLC, which had a few bikes in it, and it was good to have. So hopefully they will continue supporting that for Ride 3. But yeah, more bikes is always a good thing. You can't have too many bikes. Now, the next one kind of leads on from more bikes, and that's more bike categories. Because with Ride 2, we had the addition of Supermoto, which was a cool little category, and not necessarily my favourite, but it was nice to have it. It was nice to play it every so often, just to kind of break up from racing sports bikes or naked bikes or whatever. But I thought of a couple more categories that they could add, like a motocross category. Obviously, they've got MXGP. They've got like physics and that for a motocross game. So it would be nice if they did actually put motocross bikes in the game and have separate motocross tracks that you could do. And also something that I think would be pretty fun would be mini motos. If they could put some mini motorbikes in Ride 3. Obviously, they'd have to have like little go-kart tracks so that you can race the mini motors on, because no one would want to do the full Nürburgring on a mini motor, because that would take forever and a day to do. But it would be pretty cool to do, and that would obviously add more to the number of bikes in the game. As I think it would be pretty fun as well, and funny to play. But yeah, that's a couple of categories I like to see in the game. Next one, again, another pretty obvious one, and that's more tracks, and more of all different category of tracks. Obviously, we got road racing tracks from Ride 2, like Northwest 200, Macau, Dunrod Circuit. It'd be nice to have a few more of them. A few more short circuits as well. Obviously, we got like Magny-Cours, Imola, Monza, Donington. Would be nice if they could have a few more of them as well. Yeah, and a few more of their street circuits as well. There's always a nice addition. Maybe do away with Miami, because that track is really awful. Every corner is pretty much a 90-degree corner. But yeah, more tracks. Everyone's going to be more happier to play on more tracks. Obviously, it's going to be more tracks to learn, but definitely going to be good to play on some different tracks, because obviously, like I said, we had the road racing tracks introduced into Ride 2, but there were quite a few of the same tracks from Ride 1, so it would be nice to have more tracks, like something like Suzuka. That'd be pretty cool, especially if they done like the endurance races on the Suzuka, and like the Suzuka 8 Hour. I know that they'd have to get the license for it, but they could do an endurance race at Suzuka, not call it Suzuka 8 Hour, but you know what I mean, like stuff like that. That would be pretty cool. And like there's other tracks out there that would be pretty nice to have added to the game. Obviously, Isle of Man TT is more than well, it won't happen, because the Isle of Man TT game itself is coming out, so it's not very likely that Milestone would be able to get the license for the Isle of Man TT track, so that won't be in Ride 3, I suspect. But other tracks would be a good bonus on top of the ever growing tracks that we've got already. Next point is more customization. Now, there is a shit ton of customization in Ride and Ride 2, but it would be nice to have more. I know I'm greedy, but you know, more is more. So like more manufacturers and stuff like that, especially with the bike customization, because there's some bikes where you can't change the exhaust at all on Ride 2, so it would be nice if you had more options. Like I said, like more manufacturers as well, and just a lot more customization, deeper customization as well. Rider customization, obviously more of everything, more helmets, more gloves, levers, boots, stuff like that. That'd be pretty cool. The next one is going to be physics. Now, it would be nice to have improved physics. I know that they had a new tyre algorithm for Ride 2, especially in the wet races. But it would be nice to have even more improved physics model, especially on pro physics. It would be nice if it was more difficult, so if you do come out of a corner, or you put the throttle on full going halfway around a corner, you should be high siding, and stuff like that. Just make it a bit harder. or have like a completely new physics difficulty. So you got standard, semi-pro, pro, and then have pro plus. I think having pro plus would be a good addition, because if people don't like it, they can just stick with pro, or if people do like it, obviously they can go to pro plus and have more difficulty and just make the game harder. And I think that a lot of people would be happy with that. The penultimate point is sound. Now, there wasn't a huge difference in sound between the first ride and ride 2. I know that they did change the way that they recorded some of the bikes, especially the Kawasaki H2R. They put it on a rolling road and put a microphone on the exhaust pipe, and then revved it through the gears and then recorded the sound from that. But some of the bikes definitely got a bit more to come out of them. The difference between the last couple of MotoGP games is quite a big difference between Valentino Rossi the game and MotoGP 17. MotoGP 17 sound is so much better than Valentino Rossi the game, and it's a good direction to be going in, and I just hope that they can take that kind of sound over to Ride 2, so that the bikes sound more mechanical, more realistic, and less synthetic, and that would definitely improve the overall experience of the game. And the final point, which will, well, it does kind of incorporate the last 2 points of sound and physics, and that is using the Unreal Engine 4. Now, the last game that Milestone made using their own in-house engine was MotoGP 17, and they did say that that was going to be the last game that they were going to make with that engine. They made MXGP 3 with the Unreal Engine 4. They're making the new gravel game with the Unreal Engine 4. They're making that Supercross game with the Unreal Engine 4 as well. So there's no reason why they wouldn't make Ride 3 in Unreal Engine 4. And that would mean, obviously, improved graphics. The game could look really top notch. The physics from the Unreal Engine 4 could definitely improve with that engine as well, and the sound as well. So the Unreal Engine 4 could definitely help Milestone hit those points of sound, physics, and graphics. And yeah, I think that would definitely overall improve the whole experience, having a really nice looking game. And also with the Unreal Engine 4, getting it to run at 60 frames per second as well, because like I said, going from MotoGP 17, which was 60 FPS on consoles, down to Valentino Rossi the game, which was 30 FPS on consoles, you definitely know the difference when you go backwards. So it would be nice if they could get Ride 3 at 60 FPS with the Unreal Engine 4. I know that Ride 2 is 30 FPS on consoles. So if they could nail that, then I think everyone would be happy, and they would definitely have the best bike game out there. But that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this list. Like I said, if there's anything that you think I've missed, or anything that you personally would like to see in Ride 3, put it down in the comments section, and I'll have a look through it a bit later. And if we've got enough ideas, I will do a separate community wish list for Ride 3 with your ideas in it. But anyway, guys, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel for more content, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See you!